When we create the alignment, the option to create and manage the string design becomes available on the right-hand side of the form. There's some informative information at the top of the form which is going to be quite useful when it comes to looking at the automatic design, so we'll look at that very shortly. We can apply a template to the cul-de-sac. At present, if we choose auto, the software will automatically connect the codes on one side of the template, and if we're using imperial, that will be the right hand side due to the alignment direction, and it will connect all of the respective codes minus the daylight on the other side, depending on which ones match. For the time being, we'll leave this as auto. The template that we apply must have the LDUM code if we choose our own. This is the same requirement that we had for our curve returns. The section spacing is how often the software will take a cross section along our string, and 2.5 feet is a fairly respectable value. Because we use auto, we have the option to omit the batters or daylight from our template if we choose. For the time being, we're going to make sure that they are drawn. Underneath, we've got the automatic design, and this is where the hover graphics in the center of the form will aid us with understanding how these values works. Initially, we've got calculate levels 2. This is how far the software will automatically calculate the levels of our ETW code on our right hand side of our carriageway. So what will normally happen is that the slope from our centerline to our ETW code will be projected and transferred onto the profile of our cul-de-sac, and this station value dictates how far that automatic transition should occur. So at present, you'll notice that this station value is the same as the center point station value. So from the tangent point, or the start of our cul-de-sac, the software will project the slope all the way up as far as the center point. The same goes as it comes around the other side. From the station, which happens to be again the center point station, all the way round to the tangent point, the software will automatically calculate these levels every 2.5 feet, which is the section spacing value above. Shortly, we're going to look at how to reduce the automation and discuss why you may want to do that, but for the time being, all we're going to do is click on Create Update String. In the drawing environment, the cul-de-sac will now be trimming off all of the road string, and auto model will have updated. If we wanted to adjust where the centerline terminated within the cul-de-sac, we could do this. The centerline endpoint cell is currently empty. To access this, we need to click on the Omit Pavement Code option. As soon as we do that, the centerline endpoint becomes available. This is because when we reposition the centerline to terminate in a different location which is not the center of the cul-de-sac, we need to omit the pavement code, allowing the software to interpolate all the way across the cul-de-sac rather than referencing back to the centerline. So it's important that if you do want to change the position of the end of the centerline, you need to check the Omit Pavement Code option. If the center point of your cul-de-sac was, say, to the left or to the right, because we had filled in the following value in the horizontal geometry, we can get the software to calculate the elevation of that offset centerline. So by default, it will use the elevation as it currently stands, where it's currently positioned at the end. If we wanted to project a slope to the offset center point, we could type in -2, which would be -2%, or +2, which would mean that we are having a +2% to the offset center point. At any point, you can come in and type and change these values to update the string. For the time being, we're going to check off the Omit Pavement Code button, click on Create Update String, then we're going to click on the Show VGE on Close, meaning that the vertical grading editor will be displayed for us as soon as we close the form, and then click on Close. Now we're going to review how the automatic design impacts the cul-de-sac vertical profile.